guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's class, we are going to analyze the concept education. Remember, we are still on a basic idea of philosophy of education, and last time we succeeded in giving the overview on the concept philosophy, branches of philosophy, method of philosophy, relevance of philosophy, and so on. So today's class, we are going to analyze the concept education, nature and meaning of education, philosophy of education, and the relevance of philosophy of education. Kindly stay tuned. You are going to know more on the concept of education. Yes. So on the analysis of education, when we talk of analysis of education, we are looking at different people's opinion or ideas in relation to the concept education, how different scholars, different philosophers viewed the concept education. So we'll be picking them one after the other and looking at their strength and weak point, if there is any assertion. Yes, so that is what we mean by analysis of education. As we all know that education is as old as man, so education has been defined in various ways. Subjectively, from various definitions, education can be categorized into these following approaches: stipulative, descriptive, and prescriptive. Stipulative refers to individuals' ideas of education. That is, when a scholar gives us his own idea of what education is, we now categorize it as a stipulative approach. For instance, Hermann Hohne gave us an idea of education as the adjustment of human being to God. With this definition or his idea, there are two controversial points to note. One is a taste, two is curriculum. If we should go with his definition, what about a taste that doesn't believe in God? Then, in relation to the curriculum, it will narrow the content, the course to be taught to the students only about Bible, prayer. What about mathematics? What about geography? And so on. Second is descriptive. Descriptive, sorry, another instance is Aristotle. Aristotle, in stipulative, gave us his own idea of education as bringing up the child to find pleasure and pain in the right things. The problem here is who is to decide what are right things. We can find many in students to non-harmful pleasurable activities but are not necessarily educative. You see, so the stipulative approach, there is an atom of truth, but it still narrow the definitions of education. The second point is descriptive. Descriptive implies dictionary definitions of education. Here is where we have the etymological meaning of education. That education is derived from Latin words educere, educare, and educatum. Educere means to lead, educare means to form, train or mold, educatum means to teach. Yes. The little challenge here also is that it gives us an alternative words which mean much the same as the word we are trying to, right? Yes. So it is helpful for simple concrete words but of limited value with words which appear in different contexts. That is the challenge of this one. Then the last, prescriptive. Prescriptive entails what an individual tells us what he thinks education ought to be. However, the problem here is that ought statements involve people's values and personal ideas and beliefs. Different people have different values, and so there will be no agreement. There will be no agreement. You see? So, in reaction to this, R.S. Peter states that modern philosophers have abandoned the attempt. He says that we cannot define education. He therefore suggests an alternative method of clarifying the concept. He argues that we should try to construct a list of criteria or chief characteristics of the process of education to which any process must conform before it can be called education. And that is where we shall be looking into criteria of education and being educated. So according to R.S. Peters, they are discussion on the normative or value criterion, knowledge and understanding criterion, cognitive criterion, mode of transmission. Types of education. We have formal education. This is type of education that is received in the school setup. It includes primary, secondary, and tertiary institutions. Informal education. This is an unplanned process of education which includes all agencies outside the formal school system, which influences the learner. Non-formal education. This type of education is neither formal nor informal. It is what happens in places such as youth organization, sports club, drama, and community groups where young people meet, for example, to undertake the projects together, play games, discuss. Basic characteristics of formal education: structured, planned, and intentional. It has curriculum. Planned fees are paid regularly. Basic characteristics of informal education: unorganized learning, focuses on experiences, practical knowledge, no classroom, no curriculum, lifelong learning processes. Basic characteristics of non-formal education: it is well planned and no need of any school system. A participatory learning system: it is an open-ended educational system. No need for structured course or curriculum. Accessible to everyone. Then we are now moving to definition of philosophy of education. Philosophy of education is a branch of applied or practical philosophy that addresses the philosophical questions concerning the nature, aims, and the problems of education. Importance of philosophy of education for the student teacher. It develops the habit of constant research. It makes the student teacher to discover his philosophical position. It gives the student teacher a method to follow in carrying out teaching. It offers remedy for personal and educational problems. It lays emphasis on the clarification of meanings. That is the end of today's class. Thank you for listening. Please don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel, Anselm Modo, to encourage me. Like, comment, and share, and to expect more of my video. I also appreciate my returning subscribers. Thank you very much. God bless you all. In our next class, we are going to look into movement of philosophy. We are going to start with idealism, educational idealism. Yes, so kindly stay tuned. Subscribe, please and please subscribe. Bye.